My beloved child, give me just a few minutes. I want to speak to you in a way that reaches a place that few people can reach. The secret place of your soul. Before you even heard these words, I already knew the weight you have been carrying. I know that tiredness that doesn't appear in the body, but that weighs on the heart. I know that feeling of continuing to walk on the outside, while on the inside you wonder if there is still a path prepared for you. I know the nights when you went to bed and tried to understand the reason for so many changes. I know the moments when you looked at your own story and thought, why did this happen to me? Why did some things need to end? Why are some answers taking so long? My son, I want you to listen carefully. You're looking at a part of the story, but I know the whole book. You think you're standing still, but I tell you, I'm already moving things that your eyes can't see yet. You think you've been forgotten, but I tell you, I never took my eyes off you. You think that the delay means that nothing is happening, but I tell you, there are seeds growing underground before the first sign appears above it. Many times you look at the silence and believe that I have walked away. But there are silences where I am working deeply. There are periods when it seems that nothing has changed, but within you, roots are being strengthened, wounds are being touched, and parts of your identity are being restored. My son, I know the doors that have closed. I know the people who left. I know the dreams that seemed so close, but ended up taking another path. But I want to show you a truth that you may not have realized yet. Not everything that came out of your life was a loss. Some things had to leave so that I could protect what I am forming in you. Joseph looked at a prison and thought his story was over. But I was using that place as preparation for the palace. He saw chains, I saw purpose. He saw forgetfulness, I saw training. He saw an interruption, I saw a direction. My son, perhaps today you are looking at an area of your life and seeing only the prison. But I want to reveal to you that there is something going on beyond the walls that you can see. My word says in Isaiah 43:2, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when by the rivers they will not overwhelm you. When you pass through the fire, you will not be burned, nor will the flame burn in you. I never promised you wouldn't go through deep water. I promised you would never cross these waters alone. There's a reason why you've come to this message today. There is something I want to remind your soul. Before these moments are over, I want to reveal something you may have forgotten. Your story is still in my hands. Don't let what you've lost define who you are. Don't let a closed door make you believe that your destination has been canceled. I'm still working on the chapters that your eyes can't read yet. My son, listen to my voice. I'm not just talking about what's in front of you. I'm talking about what's already going on inside of you. Because before I change circumstances around you, I begin by restoring the heart that will face those circumstances. For I am the one who knows the plans I have for you, says Jeremiah 29:11. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Pay attention, my son. There is something that you have not yet understood, and I'm here to show you, my son. Stay with me for a few more moments, because I want to reveal that which your eyes have not been able to perceive until now. I'm going to show you how I've been working in the unseen, strengthening your soul and preparing paths that you haven't yet understood. You'll find out why some weights were necessary and how I turned growing pains. If this word has already touched your heart, write Amen as a statement of faith before me. I also ask that you like this message and subscribe to continue receiving words that strengthen your walk with me. Don't go now. In the last few minutes of this message, I have something special to reveal to you, something that your soul needs to remember. I want you to remain attentive, because I will still reveal profound truths about your journey and show that nothing has been out of my care. I am acting, and I want you to see my hand on you. My son, I want you to understand something that your mind often fails to perceive in the midst of pain. When I approach you, it is not always to take something from you. It is often to reveal something that was hidden inside you. You think I'm allowing hardship to punish you, but I tell you, I'm using these moments to bring your heart closer to mine. You think silence means distance, but I tell you, silence can also be the place where my voice becomes clearer. When everything around you is calm, when the answers seem slow, when what you were holding on to begins to lose strength, I am teaching your soul to depend on something greater than what your eyes can control. My son, you have spent a lot of time trying to find safety in things that change. You sought peace in people, in achievements, in quick answers, and in predictable paths. But I'm showing you that nothing external can completely fill that which only my presence can restore. You think you've lost support, but I tell you, I was showing that my hand was always enough. You think you have run out of direction, but I tell you, I was adjusting your spiritual ears to recognize my ways. There is a depth that is born when you stop fighting the process and start to realize my presence in it. I'm not just interested in settling what's in front of your eyes. I'm touching places inside you that no one else can reach. I'm healing tired thoughts, strengthening weakened emotions, and restoring parts of your identity that have been wounded by time. My son, remember Peter. He believed that his own strength would be sufficient. He was sure he would never deny my presence, but he discovered his fragility when the pressure came. But I didn't look at Peter just for the moment of the fall. I looked at the heart that could still be transformed. I saw beyond the error. I saw beyond the fear. I saw beyond that moment. So I see you. You think your moments of weakness define who you are. But I tell you, they are places where my grace is revealing who you can become. The seed does not become a tree because it has never faced darkness. It grows because it found strength, even when it was hidden underground. My son, I'm already working in deep places in your life. As you look at what seems to be still, I'm strengthening roots. While you observe what has not yet changed, I am transforming your way of seeing. My word says in 2 Corinthians 4:16, "Therefore we do not lose heart. Although outwardly we are wearing out, inwardly we are being renewed day by day." I'm renewing you from within. Do not abandon the process that is forming your soul. Don't reject the place where I'm teaching you how to grow. Because what today seems small to your eyes can carry the strength of something that is yet to be revealed. My son, if this word has touched your heart, write Amen in the comments. Because this act of faith, I hear. My son, I want you to realize something that your pain has tried to hide from you. What ends does not always mean that something has been lost. Sometimes what you call the end is the place where I begin to reveal a new direction. You think a closed door means I said no, but I tell you, a few closed doors are my way of protecting what I'm building in you. You think a farewell stole a part of your story, but I tell you, I was removing what couldn't accompany the next chapter I'm forming. I know there are endings that hurt. I know there are times when you look back and miss what once was. I know the void that some changes have left inside you. But I want your soul to see beyond absence. Because you look at the empty space, but I see the place that is being prepared. You look at a land that looks dry, but I see a seed waiting for the right time to be born. My son, Joseph could have believed that his dreams died when he was sold by his own brothers. He could have looked at the prison and thought that all that I had put into his heart was over. But what seemed like an interruption was a preparation. Prison was not his destiny. It was just a passage. The forgetfulness of men did not mean my forgetfulness. The silence of that place did not mean a lack of my presence. I was using every detail, every tear, and every difficult moment to lead Joseph to the place where his purpose would be revealed. And I want you to understand that today. You think you wasted time, but I tell you, I was preparing the ground. You think that phase delayed your life, but I tell you, it was strengthening what needed to remain. You think something was taken from you, but I tell you, some things needed to come out for your soul to receive something deeper. My word says in Genesis 50:20, "You meant evil against me, but God made it good, to do as it is this day, to keep many people alive." My son, that which has come to you with the intention of hurting has no power to destroy that which I have placed within you. I transform scenarios. I transform stories. I turn tears into learning. I transform places of pain into places of encounter with myself. You look at the wound and remember the suffering, but I see the healing that is already touching that area of your soul. You look at the loss and feel emptiness, but I see space being opened up for something new. You look at the delay and feel frustration, but I see a preparation that your eyes still can't comprehend. Don't try to judge your story while you're still in the middle of it. A buried seed seems lifeless to those who do not understand the process. But I know the strength hidden within her. I know what I have planted in you. Trust me when the path looks different than you imagined. Trust me when some answers still haven't arrived. Trust me when you don't understand the reason for some changes. Because while you're trying to make sense of what you've lost, I'm already revealing who you're becoming. My son, write, Lord, I believe. And by liking this video, you take this word to another child who also needs to hear that he is not alone. My son, there are parts of your story that no one knows because some pains you have learned to hide behind a smile. There are battles you've faced in silence, thoughts you've held to heart, and times when you needed to be strong, when, inside, your soul was tired. But I was there. When no one noticed her tears, I did. When no one asked how you really were, I knew every feeling inside you. When you closed the bedroom door and talked to me in silence, I heard every word your mouth couldn't say. You think your tears have fallen into emptiness, but I tell you, no tears before me have been lost. My word says in Psalm 56:8, You have told my afflictions, put my tears in your skin. Aren't they in your book? My son, I collect what the world does not value. I see what many ignore. I know depths of your soul that even you can't explain. You think you need to hide your weaknesses to be loved, but I tell you, I already know all of them, and yet I remain close to you. You think you need to look strong all the time, but I tell you, my presence also reaches the places where you feel weak. I don't just approach your moments of victory. I also enter the places where there are wounds, fears, and memories that still need healing. My son, you carried weights that I never put on your shoulders. You carried words that were said about you. You carried guilt that I have already forgiven. You carried worries about tomorrow while I was already tending to your path. I want you to surrender that which has wearied your soul. You think you have to carry everything yourself, but I tell you, my hands are bigger than your problems. You think that the pain you experienced erased important parts of you, but I tell you, I am restoring areas that seemed lost. Just as the potter works the clay with care, I am moving on with his life with patience and love. I don't just see the broken pieces. I see the beauty that can come when my hand works inside you. Jeremiah 18:6 says, As clay in the hands of a potter, so are you in my hand. My son, I'm not just interested in changing what people can see. I am taking care of the place where your choices, your thoughts, and your emotions are born. Because a healthy tree does not start with the fruits. It starts at the roots. And I'm strengthening its roots. I am bringing light to dark places of your consciousness. I am bringing peace to thoughts that were once dominated by fear. I am reminding your soul of a truth that the pains have tried to make you forget. You are not abandoned. My son, if you receive this healing in your heart, write, Lord, take care of my soul, my son. I know that some closed doors hurt your heart. I know you have looked at certain opportunities, fading away, and felt as if a part of your dreams were being taken away. You asked why I allowed something so desired not to happen. You tried to understand why that answer didn't come the way you expected. But I want to reveal something profound to your soul. You think you missed an opportunity, but I tell you, in many moments I was protecting your purpose. You think that closed door was a rejection, but I tell you, some doors were closed because I knew what was on the other side. You could only see the entrance, but I could see the whole way. You saw what opportunity looked like, but I knew the consequences that your eyes couldn't reach. My son,
There are paths that seem perfect to human eyes but carry weights that your soul did not need to carry.
There are places where you wanted to go, but I knew that environment could take you away from what I am forming inside you. I don't close doors to hurt you. I close doors to take care of you. I am the one who sees the beginning, the middle, and the end. I know what you feel today and what you would still feel tomorrow. I know people you haven't met yet, situations that haven't arrived yet, and choices that haven't been made yet. My word says in Proverbs 3:5-6, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways
Acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths." My son, trusting me means believing that my vision is greater than your understanding. You think you need to understand everything to rest, but I tell you, some answers come after your confidence matures. Look at Abraham. I asked him to leave his land without showing all the details of the path. He had to walk by faith before he could see the promise. Look at Moses. Before leading a people, he had to leave the palace and pass through the desert. The place that seemed like a loss was the place where his identity was being rebuilt. Look at David. Before the throne, there was the field. Before the honor, there was anonymity. Before the crown, there was preparation. My son, there is preparation before the promise. You want to get to the destination, but I'm taking care of the roots that will sustain you when you get there. A tree that grows too fast without deep roots does not stand before the winds. Therefore, some phases seem to take time. Therefore, some doors remain closed for longer. I am strengthening what no one sees. I am working on your maturity, your perception, and your ability to carry what I am forming. Don't just look at what came out of your hands. Look also at what I have prevented from hurting your heart. Some losses were deliverances, some delays were protection, some no's were answers of love. My son, don't go now. What comes next has been saved especially for you. And it may be what changes what you believe about your future. My son, I know that silence was one of the most difficult parts of your journey. I know there have been times when you have looked around and found no visible signs of change. You prayed, waited, and searched for an answer, but it seemed that heaven remained quiet. But I want to reveal something to your heart. You think that my silence means absence, but I tell you, often, silence is the place where I am working most deeply. You think nothing is happening, but I tell you, there are invisible movements happening around you and within you. A seed, when it is placed in the ground, seems to be forgotten. For those who only look at the surface, nothing is happening. But underneath the earth, roots are emerging, forces are being formed, and new life is beginning to be born. So is my work in you. You don't see everything I'm doing, because some of my greatest actions happen before they appear before your eyes. My son, you wanted an immediate answer, but I was working on a profound transformation. You wanted me to change the situation, but I was strengthening your soul to get through this situation. You wanted me to remove the hard way, but I was creating within you a faith that doesn't depend on easy ways. My word says in Isaiah 55:8-9, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, says the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." My son, you see only a small part of what I am doing. You see a door that hasn't opened yet. But I see the preparation that happens before the entrance. You see a prayer that has not yet received an answer. But I see the changes that are already happening in the unseen. You see a weight, but I see a construction. Because before I give something into your hands, I prepare your heart so that it is not greater than your ability to stand firm. I'm not just interested in giving answers to you. I am forming a deeper awareness, a more mature faith, and a trust that remains even when your eyes cannot find evidence. My son, do not abandon your faith in the interval between promise and fulfillment. It is in this interval that many people give up, because they believe that nothing is happening. But it is precisely in this place that I strengthen those who choose to trust. Dawn does not appear all at once. First, there is a silent change in the sky. The darkness begins to lose strength before the first rays of light are seen. So it is with what I am doing in your life. I'm already touching areas that you don't even notice.
I'm already organizing thoughts, healing wounds, and preparing paths. Remain close to me because the silence you feared was not the end of my action. It was the place where I was working. State in the comments, "I get that word," and by leaving your like, you help to take this message to another heart. My son, before transforming what is around you, I am restoring what is inside you. Because true change doesn't start in external circumstances. It starts in the way you see who you are. You think you have lost your value because of the things that have happened. But I tell you, what has happened to you has never had the power to erase what I have put inside you. You think your mistakes define your story. But I tell you, my grace is greater than your mistakes. You think the words they said about you are the truth. But I tell you, my voice will always be greater than any human opinion. My son, many times you have carried marks that were not born in me. You have accepted weights that have been placed upon your soul by difficult people, situations, and moments. Gradually, you began to believe that you were smaller than you really are, but I want to touch your conscience now. You are not the rejection you received. You are not the abandonment you faced. You are not the door that is closed. You are not the moment you fell. You are the one I know by name. My word says in Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And before you came out of the womb, I sanctified you." My son, before anyone could create an opinion about you, I already knew your essence. Before anyone saw its limitations, I already knew its possibilities. Before anyone pointed out your flaws, I already saw the purpose I put within you. I don't look at you like the world does. The world usually looks at results, appearances, and achievements. But I look at the heart. I see places that no one sees. I know thoughts that you have never told anyone. I know dreams that you have stopped mentioning because you were afraid to believe again. You think that your history was marked by losses, but I tell you, your history is being marked by my presence. A tree does not cease to be strong because it has been through storms. Often, it is precisely the winds that make its roots go even deeper. So it is with you. The storms he faced did not define his identity. They reveal the strength that I am forming within you. My son, I am already restoring your vision of yourself. I'm already touching thoughts that have been hurt by the past. I'm already bringing light to places where insecurity has tried to dominate. Don't accept living like someone forgotten when I keep calling you my son. Don't allow a difficult phase to have the last word on your life. I know its origin. I know your way. I know that which is still being formed in silence within you. And as I restore your identity, you begin to see that you were never defined by what you lost, but by the love of the one who never left you. By liking this video and subscribing to this channel, you become an instrument in my hands, helping this word reach those who need to hear the most, who have not been forgotten. My son, I know there are times when you look at your walk and feel like it's taking longer than it should. You watch the time go by, see other people moving forward, and start asking why your path looks so different. But I want to reveal something to your heart. You think you're late, but I tell you, you're being prepared. You think you wasted time, but I tell you, I was strengthening what needed to remain when the time was right. Not all growth happens before people's eyes. Some of the greatest transformations happen in the secret, where no one applauds, where no one notices, where only I see. My son, a tree does not become strong just because its branches appear. Before touching the sky, it needs to deepen its roots. So is your life. You wanted fruit, but I was taking care of the roots. You wanted recognition, but I was building character. You wanted to reach the destination, but I was preparing your heart to stay in it. Look at David. I put a promise inside it, but before the palace, there was the countryside. Before the corona, there were days of anonymity. Before facing giants in front of a crowd, he had to learn to trust me when no one was looking. The field seemed small, but it carried a lot of preparation. The battles against lions and bears seemed only difficulties of the moment, but they were training for what would come later. My son, you think that some situations were too small to have meaning, but I tell you, every experience is forming something inside you. The conversation you had,
The door that had to close, the phase you had to wait for, the struggle you faced in silence. None of this went unnoticed before me. My word says in Romans 8:28, "All things work together for good, to those who love God, to those who are the called, according to his purpose." My son, this means that even what you don't understand may be being used by my hands. You look at a difficult page of your story, but I see a necessary part of the construction. You look at the desert and think of abandonment, but I see maturation. You look at the weight and think of forgetting, but I see strengthening. I wasn't slowing you down, I was preparing you, because what arrives before the time can become a burden, but what is received after a process finds a more prepared heart. I'm already working on areas of your life that you don't realize yet. I'm already removing old fears. I'm already strengthening your faith. I am already teaching your soul to stand firm. My son, do not despise the path that formed you. Don't despise small beginnings. Often, what seems insignificant to human eyes is exactly where I build great things. The process you called the delay was where I was preparing your next step. There is someone in your heart now. Write that person's name in the comments. I hear every name you declare. My son, before changing what is around you, I am working on what exists within you. Because the greatest transformation you can experience does not begin with an open door, a received response, or a modified circumstance. It starts in the place where no one can see, inside your heart. You think you must first change your situation to find peace, but I tell you, I am bringing peace into you even before the situation changes. You think you need to receive something new to be complete, but I tell you, I am restoring that which time, pain, and experiences have tried to weaken within you. My son, you asked for a new phase, but a new phase needs a new perception. You have asked for new paths, but I am preparing a new consciousness to walk on them. You have asked for blessings in your hands, but I am preparing your heart to carry what comes to you, because what is put in the hands of someone who is not yet prepared can become a burden. Therefore, some answers seem time-consuming. Therefore, some paths seem longer. It's not because I forgot you. It's because I'm taking care of you. I am working in the deep places of your soul, places where fears, insecurities, and thoughts were born that made you forget who you are. My son, there are wounds that do not appear on the body, but that influence your choices. There are words that have been spoken against you that have tried to take root within your mind. But I'm bringing light to these places. I'm touching memories that still hurt. I'm strengthening parts of you that felt small. I'm restoring the way you see your own history. My word says in Ezekiel 36:26, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you, and I will take away from your flesh the heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. My son, I don't just want to improve some details of your life. I want to renew the source from which your thoughts, your decisions, and your way of seeing the world are born. You think the change you need is outside, but I tell you, the most powerful change starts within. A seed does not begin its transformation when it appears as a tree. It begins the moment life is placed within it, so it is with you. Maybe you don't see everything blooming yet, but I'm already working on the roots. Maybe you still don't notice all the changes, but I'm already forming something new in your soul. My son, don't be in a hurry to abandon the process. Don't despise what I'm doing in secret. Because before I reveal a new story through you, I am forming a new person within you. Do not stop now, my child. What comes in the next few minutes may be the answer you've been seeking for so long, and I've saved it for this very moment. My son, I know that there are times when you look at your life and feel that you have been placed in a place where no one can perceive your existence. You see people moving forward, conquering, and receiving what they hoped for, while you feel like you're hiding, waiting for something that never seems to come. But I want you to change the way you see this moment. You think you're buried, but I tell you, you're being planted. You think you're forgotten, but I tell you, I'm strengthening your roots. You think you're standing still, but I tell you, there's growth happening in places your eyes can't yet reach. My son, a seed, when it is underground, seems to be lost to those who only look at the surface. No one sees the silent movement that happens there. No one sees the root looking for depth. No one sees life being prepared before it appears. But I see. I know what is being formed within you. You asked for fruit, but I started at the roots. You asked for a quick change, but I'm building a firm foundation. You asked to be seen,
But I'm teaching your soul to stay strong even when no one is looking. Because what grows without deep roots does not remain when the winds come. My son, you may have wondered why some phases were so silent. Maybe you looked your way and thought
nothing was happening. But I want to reveal a mystery. The silence you fear is often the soil where I strengthen your faith. The hidden place you want to leave is often the place where I prepare your maturity. The phase that seems small to her eyes can carry a great transformation within her. My word says in Isaiah 37:31, "He that escaped from the house of Judah, the remnant will again put down roots and will bear fruit upward." My son, notice the order I have established. First the roots, then the fruits. First the interior, then the exterior. First the invisible transformation, then what everyone can see. You want people to see the fruit, but I'm taking care of the root. You want everyone to recognize your change, but I'm strengthening that which will sustain that change. I'm not just concerned with when you'll be seen. I am taking care of what will remain when people's eyes are on you, because a strong tree is not one that just grows fast. It is the one that stands firm when the storm hits. My son, what you have called loneliness may be the place where I am deepening your dependence on myself. What you have called abandonment may be the place where I am teaching you to recognize my presence. What you called the delay may be where I am preparing your structure. You're not buried in a story with no purpose. You're being planted in soil where my hands are already working. And just as the seed trusts the farmer, even without understanding the process, I want his soul to trust me as I continue to strengthen what no one can see. My son, I know that when you look back, often your heart feels the weight of what didn't happen. You remember the years that passed, the opportunities that seemed lost, the paths that took another direction, and the choices you wish you had made in a different way. But I want to touch your perception today. You think you wasted time, but I tell you, I was restoring paths. You think you are left behind, but I tell you, I was preparing you to walk more wisely. You think a few years have been wasted, but I tell you, nothing that has been put into my hands has been lost. My son, I don't see time as you do. You count days, months, and years. You look at what has gone through and feel that something has been taken from you.
But I see processes, learning, and transformations happening inside your soul. What you called delay, I used as preparation. What you called a mistake, I used to generate maturity. That which you called loss, I used to plant new seeds within you. My word says in Joel 2:25, "I will restore to you the years that were consumed by the locust." My son, I am able to touch that which seems impossible to recover. I am able to transform difficult experiences into sources of wisdom. I am able to use even the broken paths to lead you to places you would never reach with the same vision you had before. You wanted to get there faster, but I was teaching you how to stay. You wanted immediate answers, but I was strengthening your ability to trust. You just wanted to achieve a promise, but I was preparing the person who would carry that promise. Because that which arrives without deep roots can disappear in the face of the first storm. My son, look at Moses. To human eyes, 40 years in the desert seemed like a great interruption. It seemed like years that could have been different. They seemed like a story that lost speed. But I was working in that place. The man who left the palace was not the same man who returned to fulfill his calling. The desert was not a punishment. It was a preparation. Silence was not abandonment. It was training. I was taking away the rush, strengthening patience, and teaching Moses to depend on me, and I'm also working on you. You think that that difficult phase only delayed your life, but I tell you, it revealed parts of your soul that you would never have known on an easy path. There are forces that only appear when you need to stay. There are maturities that are only born when you go through processes. Dawn does not appear suddenly.
Before the first light touches the horizon, there is a silent dawn preparing the arrival of a new day. My son, I'm working on details that you still can't perceive. I am restoring thoughts, adjusting paths, and using even that which seemed meaningless to form something greater within you. That word didn't come to you by chance. Write in the comments, "I trust God," and let that be your act of faith for me today. My son, I know the moments when you looked inside yourself and found limitations. I know of the times when you have compared yourself to other people and thought that you did not have enough capacity to fulfill what I have put in your heart. You look at your weaknesses and believe that they are obstacles. But I tell you, they are often exactly the places where my strength begins to be revealed. You think you need to be strong to walk with me, but I tell you it is by walking with me that you find true strength. You think you need to have all the answers, but I tell you, confidence is born just when you continue even without seeing everything. My son, I never look for perfect people. I have always looked for hearts willing to be transformed by my hands. I didn't choose people because they had no flaws. I chose people because they allowed my presence to work on them. Look at David. To human eyes, he seemed too small to face a giant. Many looked at his appearance and thought he lacked ability. But I didn't just look at David's size. I looked at the faith that existed within him. I looked at a heart that learned to trust me on the field when no one was watching. Look at Gideon. He saw himself as unimportant, hidden, and insecure. But I saw in him a force that had not yet been awakened. Look at Peter. He failed, fell, and wept for his weakness. But I did not abandon Peter at the time of the fall. I restored his identity and showed him that failure would not be the end of his story. My son, you think that your mistakes diminish your worth, but I tell you, my hands can transform weaknesses into testimonies. My word says in 2 Corinthians 12:9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." I'm not expecting you to become perfect to walk with me. I am already walking with you as I transform your life. I'm already touching areas that you think are impossible to change. I'm already strengthening places inside you that seemed lifeless. My son, stop looking only at what is missing. Stop measuring your ability only by your limitations. Begin to realize that which I have already placed within you. There is a spiritual force being formed in silence. There is a courage being born after so many times that you thought about giving up. There is a maturity growing after moments when you needed to trust without having all the explanations. The root grows in the dark before it appears in the light. The seed faces the earth before breaking through its own barrier and reaching the sky. So it is with you. Hard periods don't mean you're weak. They often mean that their roots are deepening. My son, I don't see you as someone defeated by circumstances. I see someone being shaped by my presence. Your weakness does not limit what I can do through you, because when my hands are on your life, that which seems small becomes enough to fulfill the purpose I have placed in you. My son, if you are here, it is because I have allowed it. I have something to reveal to you later today. Don't leave before you've heard what's next. My son, I know that there are times when the absence of people deeply hurts your soul. I know how it hurts when someone you hoped would stay chooses to go another way. I know how some people's silence can make you feel like you've been left behind. But I want you to remember a truth that never changes. You think you were alone, but I tell you, my presence never went away. You think that someone's departure left a void that is impossible to fill. But I tell you, I am still present in the places where your heart has missed. My son, some people can get out of your story, but they can never take away what I put inside you. Some doors may close, some voices may be silent, some paths may change, but my presence remains. Look at Joseph. When he was taken to a place where he knew no one, when his own brothers rejected him, and when he seemed forgotten inside a prison, many might think he was abandoned, but I was there. I was present within those walls. I was present on the days when he didn't understand the reason for that phase. I was present preparing something that he still couldn't see. Look at Daniel. When he entered the lion's den, the scenario seemed impossible to human eyes. But what seemed like an end was not out of my care. I was there. Look at the disciples in the midst of the storm. The wind was strong, the waves were frightening, and fear took over them. But I was on the boat. My son, realize this. My presence does not depend on a life without difficulties. I didn't promise that you would never face storms. I promised you would never get through a storm without me. You think you have to see to believe, but I tell you, faith sees what the natural eye cannot yet perceive. You think that because you don't feel my presence, I'm distant, but I tell you, my cares continue to reach you. You think that because you don't see movement, nothing is happening, but I tell you, my hands continue to work. The root of a tree grows in silence. Underneath the earth there is an invisible construction that supports what will one day appear above it. So it is with you. There are parts of your life where I'm working without you noticing. I am strengthening your soul. I am bringing healing to tired thoughts. I'm teaching your heart to rest in me. My word says in Joshua 1:9, was it not I who commanded you? Be strong and brave. Do not be terrified or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. My son, do not allow the circumstance to be greater than my presence. Don't let loneliness make you forget that I keep walking by your side. Even when you don't feel it, I am. Even when you don't understand, I am. Even when you don't see it, I'm working. Because my work in you does not depend on what your eyes can perceive. It depends on my faithfulness, and my faithfulness never fails. I've been good at your life in ways you haven't even noticed. Write in the comments, Amen, and proclaim with me my kindness to you. My son, I know that waiting is not always easy. I know that there are times when your soul desires a clear answer, immediate direction, and visible confirmation that I'm taking care of everything. I know the questions you carry. I know the thoughts that arise when the silence seems too long. But I want to reveal something that your soul needs to understand. You think that my silence means that I have stopped acting, but I tell you, it is often in silence that I am performing the greatest works. You think my delay means distance, but I tell you, sometimes I'm taking you to a depth you wouldn't reach in a fast track. My son, a tree does not grow only when its branches appear. Before its leaves are seen, its roots are working hidden. There is a construction going on underground. There is a preparation going on before the demonstration. So is my work in your life. You look at what hasn't happened yet, but I'm taking care of what needs to happen inside you first. You asked for an answer, but I was forming discernment. You asked for a quick fix, but I was strengthening your ability to stand firm. You asked for an open door, but I was preparing your steps to walk through that door wisely. My son, not every answer needs to reach your ears first. Some answers need to be born within your consciousness. Because an external response can change a situation, but an internal transformation changes the way you face your entire journey. I'm not just working to get something into your hands. I'm working to get your hands ready. I'm not just arranging circumstances around you. I am strengthening your heart to recognize what I am already doing. My word says in Lamentations 3:25, good is the Lord to those who wait for him, to the soul that seeks him. My son, waiting on me never means standing still. While you wait, I'm removing old fears. While you wait, I am adjusting desires that could lead you down paths that do not match the purpose I have placed within you. While you wait, I am teaching your soul to rest. You think you're wasting time, but I tell you, I'm preparing the ground. You think nothing has changed, but I tell you, there are changes happening in places that no one can see. The seed does not complain about the darkness while it is taking root. She doesn't fully understand the process, but she stays in the place where it was planted. And at the right time, what was hidden begins to appear. My son, do not despise the invisible process. Do not abandon the faith because the path seems silent. Dawn does not come suddenly. Before the light touches the sky, There is a silent transformation taking place in the darkness. I'm already working while you wait. I'm already taking care of you while you rest. I'm already preparing while you try to understand. Trust me, because I know the right time of all things. This message is not for everyone, my son. If you are here, it is because I have chosen you to hear what comes next. Are you ready? My son, I know every part of your story, including those that you try to hide, even from yourself. I know memories that still squeeze your heart. I know moments you'd like to erase, words you wish you'd never heard, and paths you'd never taken. But I want you to understand something profound. You think your story has been broken, but I tell you, I'm still working on every fragment. You think that some parts of your life have gone unsolved, but I tell you, my hands reach places where no one else can touch. Nothing that comes to me is wasted, nor did his tears, nor his losses, nor the days when you thought you couldn't keep going. I know the pieces that have fallen by the wayside, but I also know the purpose that is still hidden within them. My son, when the potter finds an imperfection in the clay, he does not abandon the work. He continues to mold with care, patience, and intention. My word says in Jeremiah 18:6, "As clay in the hands of the potter, so are you in my hands." You think your failures have made you lose your worth, but I tell you, my hands are still forming you. You think that what happened marked your end, but I tell you, I am even using the marks of your walk to reveal a new depth in you. I don't see you just for what happened. I see what I'm building. I see beyond the wound. I see beyond fear. I see past the moment you fell. My son, there are cracks that allow light to reach places that were previously hidden. There are pains that reveal areas of the soul that needed to be restored. There are difficult moments that show where your human strength ends and where dependence on my presence begins. You think I need to give back exactly what you lost, but I tell you, often my restoration is deeper than a simple return to the past. I'm not just rebuilding what was broken, I'm forming something new. I'm restoring your way of thinking. I am healing your perception of yourself. I'm strengthening your faith in places where there was insecurity before. My son, a tree that has been through a storm is not the same tree after it remains standing. Its roots go deeper. Its structure is strengthened. Their ability to resist increases. So it is with you. You think that the storm only took things out of your life, but I tell you, it also revealed forces that were hidden within you. I'm already working on your soul. I'm already touching areas that you thought were impossible to change. I am already bringing healing to memories that still weighed on your heart. Don't just look at the broken pieces. Look at the hands that are restoring you, because what has passed through my hands never remains the same. I keep shaping. I keep restoring. I keep forming a story that reveals not only what you have lost, but what I am building inside you, my son. I know that there are times when you look ahead and feel afraid of what you can't see. I know that your mind tries to calculate all the possibilities, predict all the outcomes, and find an explanation for every detail of the path. But I want to teach your heart something. You think you need to know all the steps to continue, but I tell you, you just need to trust the one who knows the whole way. You think you're lost because you can't see the full road, but I tell you, I've never lost sight of you. Before you even got to this moment, I already knew every turn, every challenge, and every opportunity I would find along the way. My son, you see a small part of your story, but I see the whole picture. You see a closed door, but I see a protection. You see a different path than planned, but I see a direction. You see uncertainty, but I see purpose. My word says in Proverbs 16:9, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." My son, I am not asking you to walk aimlessly. I'm asking you to trust my direction, because there are paths that seem right in your eyes, but I know what's hidden after the next bend. I see dangers that you haven't realized yet. I see deliverances that you have not yet recognized. I see blessings that have not yet come into your field of vision. You think some changes happen to get you out of place, but I tell you, a lot of changes happen to put you exactly where you needed to be. My son, a child held by the hand of the Father,
does not need to know all the places to walk safely. She doesn't know every detail of the road, but she rests because she knows who holds her hand. So I want your soul to walk with me. Don't carry the weight of trying to control what belongs to me. Don't allow anxiety for tomorrow to rob you of the peace I'm putting in your heart today. I'm already working in places where you haven't arrived yet. I'm already preparing meetings that you haven't lived. Yet, I'm already organizing details that your eyes can't see yet. You think you need to see the future to trust, but I tell you, true trust is born when you remain with me, even without seeing everything. The seed does not know the tree it will become. It just stays in the soil where it was planted and gets what it needs to grow. My son, stay close to me, even when the path seems strange, even when the answers take time, even when your plans need to be adjusted. I know every step. I know every tear. I know every desire hidden in your heart. And as you walk with me, not a single step is wasted. There are so many other children of mine who need to hear this now. By liking this video and subscribing to this channel, you become part of the chain that I use to bring my word to those who are on edge. My son, I know that there are times when you look at your life and believe that nothing has changed. You look at the circumstances around you and look for visible signs of transformation. But since you still don't see everything you expect, your heart begins to think that nothing is happening. But I want to reveal something that your eyes can't yet perceive. You think nothing has changed, but I tell you, your soul is already being transformed. You think you're in the same place, but I tell you, you're no longer the same person you were before. Watch carefully. The way you react has changed. The way you see some situations has changed. That which once took away your peace no longer controls your heart so much. Old desires began to lose strength. New thoughts began to be born. A new sensitivity began to emerge within you. My son, this is no coincidence. It's my work happening in the deepest place of your life. You expected me to start by changing the outside, but I started by working on the inside. Because a tree does not change first by the fruits. It starts at the roots. Before anyone sees a new season coming, there is a hidden movement going on underground. So, it is with you. I am strengthening your inner structure. I'm renewing your way of thinking. I am healing perceptions that have been wounded by past experiences. I am teaching your soul to see beyond circumstances. My son, you think that transformation needs to be big and visible to be true, but I tell you, some of the biggest changes start as small seeds within the heart. A small decision, a new thought, a different will, a greater desire to get closer to me. All of this reveals that something is being formed. My word says in Philippians 1:6, "He who began a good work in you will complete it until the day of Christ Jesus." My son, I do not begin a work to abandon it halfway. I don't plant a seed to leave it uncared for. I don't touch a life and then forget about it. I continue to work, even when you don't realize it, even when you don't feel it, even when you think you're standing still. You think you're waiting for a change to happen, but I tell you, the change has already begun within you. You think you need to become someone else to live something new, but I tell you, I am already forming a new consciousness in you. A consciousness that does not depend only on what happens around it. A conscience that recognizes my presence even on difficult days. A consciousness that understands that not all silence is abandonment and not all waiting is loss. My son, I am restoring your way of walking. I'm adjusting your vision. I am strengthening your inner self so that what comes to you finds a prepared heart. Don't just look at what is still missing. Also observe what I have already transformed, because many times you look for a great sign, while I am already revealing my work in the small details of your soul. My son, I know the weight you have been carrying in silence. I know the fatigue that is born when you try to take care of everything, predict everything, and solve everything yourself. I see when your mind keeps working even when your body needs to rest. I see it when you lie down but your thoughts keep searching for answers. I see when you try to find a way out of every situation before it even happens. But I want to touch your heart with a profound truth. You think you need to control everything. But I tell you, there are things that
were never meant to be in your hands. You think you need to hold on to every detail of your life, but I tell you, my hands are bigger than yours. My son, often your heart gets tired, not only from what happens, but from the weight of trying to carry what belongs to me. You try to protect all paths. You try to understand all the reasons. You try to find all the answers. But there is a peace that is born when you recognize that I am still God, even when you cannot control all things. My word says in Matthew 11:28, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." My son, I'm not just offering rest to your tired body. I am bringing rest to your soul. Because there is a type of tiredness that a night's sleep cannot solve. It's the tiredness of trying to carry worries that weren't meant to stay on you. It's the fatigue of trying to secure a future that's already in front of my eyes. It's the fatigue of fighting battles that I never asked you to face alone. You think that surrendering control means losing security, but I tell you, surrendering control to me is finding true security. A child rests in his father's arms because he knows he doesn't have to understand all the dangers around him. She only trusts those who hold her. My son, I want to teach your soul to rest like this, not because all the problems have disappeared, but because you've discovered that you're not alone in front of them. You think you need to have all the answers to continue, but I tell you, my presence is enough for the next step. You think you need to see the whole road. But I tell you, I light the way at the right time. I'm already taking care of things you can't manage. I'm already working on situations that you don't even know need to be resolved. I'm already preparing answers before you even realize the questions. My son, release from your hands that which has stolen your peace. Leave with me what you can't control, because while your hands are busy trying to hold it all, you can't get what I want to put inside you. Anxiety tries to convince you that it all depends on your strength, but I want to remind your soul, you have never been sustained by your ability alone. You have always been sustained by my care. If this video is providing answers you needed to hear, write in the comments, "God cares for me," and prophesy this truth about your own life. My son, I know that waiting may seem like one of the greatest tests to your heart. I know there are times when you look at a promise, a dream, or a prayer and wonder why it hasn't happened yet. You look at the space between the request and the answer and feel like you're living a while still. But I want to reveal something that your soul needs to remember. You think the wait is empty, but I tell you, it is full of my presence. You think that nothing is happening because your eyes cannot yet see changes. But I tell you, there are works happening in the invisible. My son, waiting has never been a place of abandonment. Often, waiting is the place where I work the most inside of you. You wait for a door to open, but I'm strengthening your hands to walk through it. You wait for an answer to come, but I am preparing your heart to receive it. You expect a change to happen around you, but I am performing a transformation within you. My word says in Psalm 27:14, "Wait for the Lord, take courage and strengthen your heart. Therefore wait for the Lord." My son, notice that my word does not say just to wait. She talks about strengthening the heart during the wait, because there is something being built in this period. Waiting reveals what is inside you. It shows where your confidence lies. It reveals whether your peace depends only on circumstances, or if it is established in my presence. You think you're just waiting for an answer, but I tell you, you're living a meeting with me. While you wait, I am teaching your soul to rest. While you wait, I'm removing haste that could lead you down wrong paths. While you wait, I'm preparing details that your eyes can't yet perceive. My son, a seed does not stand still when it is underground. To those looking from the outside, it seems that nothing happens. But within that little seed, there is a life being formed, there is a root growing, there is a force emerging, so it is with you. The period that seems silent can be loaded with growth. The moment that seems motionless may be full of my action. You think you're wasting time, but I tell you, I'm using this time to form something that will remain. You think that the delay weakens your story, but I tell you, a few waits strengthen what will be built. My son, I'm not tied to your watch.
I'm not limited by your anxiety. I know the right time. I know the right station. I know what your soul needs to learn before it can receive what your eyes desire. Trust the process I'm conducting, because a work done only in haste may not remain, but what is formed by my hands carries depth. I'm already working while you wait. I'm already taking care of it while you ask. I'm already preparing while you try to understand. Don't despise this season. Maybe you think you're just waiting for an answer, but I'm using this time to bring you closer to me. What comes next may be the exact signal you asked for. I saved it for this moment. Stay with me. My son, I know that there are pains that have marked your journey in a profound way. I know there are memories that still make your heart go back to difficult times. I know the situations that made you question your strength, your ability, and even the reason why you had to go through certain paths. But I want you to see
With a different eyes what you have experienced. You think the pain has diminished you, but I tell you, it has revealed parts of you that were hidden. You think that difficulty showed your weaknesses, but I tell you, it revealed strengths that you did not yet know you carried. My son, there are things that only appear when you cross places you never imagined facing. Gold does not reveal its value until it has undergone the purification process. The tree does not reveal the depth of its roots until it faces strong winds, and many times you don't realize the strength that exists within you until the moment you need to stand up. You look at your scars and remember the pain, but I see proof that you kept going. You look back at the hard nights and remember the tears, but I see a faith that was born just when there seemed to be no way out. You look at the battles and remember the fear, but I see the maturity that was formed in the secret. My son, I have not wasted a single moment of your history. You think those hard days were just losses.
But I tell you, I was using every experience to deepen your soul. I used deserts to strengthen their roots. I used quiet time to teach you how to recognize my voice. I used losses to show that your true security was never just in the things you owned. Because some things need to be removed to reveal what really remains. My word says in 1 Peter 1:7, that the trial of your faith, which is more precious than gold that perishes and is tried by fire, may be found in praise and honor and glory at the revelation of Jesus Christ. My son, you thought you were being destroyed, but I tell you, I was separating that which no longer belonged to your identity. You thought you were missing parts of your life, but I tell you, I was freeing up space for a new consciousness to be born within you. The seed must break through its own shell to reach the light. There is a part of her that needs to leave behind what protected her before, to live what she was created to be. So it is with you. Some old versions of you had to be left behind. Some fears needed to be confronted. Some dependencies had to be broken. Not because I wanted to hurt you, but because I was leading you to greater freedom. My son, do not be ashamed of the process that formed you. Don't hide the marks that show you've overcome moments that seemed impossible. That which tried to break you was transformed into depth. That which tried to extinguish his hope was used to strengthen his faith. And as you look back trying to understand pain, I want to show that there is still something deeper being formed within you. My son, I know that rejection leaves deep marks on the soul. I know how it hurts when someone chooses to leave, when an opportunity disappears, or when you feel like you weren't chosen. I know that moment when you ask yourself, why wasn't I accepted? Why did that door close? Why didn't that person stay? But I want to show you a truth that your eyes still can't perceive. You think you've been rejected, but I tell you, sometimes you've been separated. You think you have lost something important, but I tell you, I was protecting what I am forming inside you. My child, not every place where you wish to remain is a place where your soul must take root. There are environments that look promising, but could weaken your identity. There are connections that seem necessary, but could prevent you from hearing my voice clearly. I see what you don't see. I know intentions that you don't know. I see consequences that have not yet reached your field of vision. Therefore, some separations hurt, but they were careful. Look at Joseph.
He didn't understand when he was taken away from his family. He did not understand when he was taken away from those he knew. To human eyes, it seemed like a cruel rejection. But I was separating Joseph to a position that his brothers could not yet see. The place where he lost the presence of his family was the path that led him to the place where his purpose would be revealed. Look at David. He was in the field while others stood before the prophet. He was not first called in the eyes of men, but I already knew the heart that was in him. The field seemed to be oblivion, but it was preparation. Look at Moses. He left the palace and spent years in the desert. That seemed like a loss of position,
but it was a formation of identity. My son, sometimes I pull you out of places where your soul was trying to find value, to teach that your true worth has never depended on people's approval. My word says in Isaiah 49:16, "Behold,
I have engraved thee on the palms of my hands. Your walls are continually before me." My son, before anyone recognized his name, I already knew his story. Before anyone believed you, I already saw what I put inside you. People can forget.
People may not understand, people may not see the process, but I never lost sight of his identity. You think you need to be recognized by everyone to have purpose.
But I tell you, what is born from my hands does not depend on human approval. Some seeds need to grow away from those who doubted them. Some roots need to go deep in silence before the fruits appear. I'm strengthening your identity away from the looks that tried to limit you. I'm teaching your heart to find safety in me, not in the opinions around you. My child,
do not allow a rejection to define your view of you. What a person has refused may be exactly what I am preparing to flourish elsewhere. There is something in your heart that you have not yet given me completely. Write in the comments what you're uploading. It could be a word, a request, a name. My son, I know there are times when you look back at your walk and feel like you're going backwards. You observe changes that you did not expect, paths that seem different from the plan you had made, and situations that make you question whether you are really moving forward. But I want to reveal something deep to your heart. You think you're going backwards, but I tell you, I'm taking you as deeper. You think you've lost progress, but I tell you, I'm strengthening the foundation that will sustain what I'm forming. My son, not every downward movement means defeat. A seed needs to be placed in the ground before it breaks through the surface. A root must descend deeply before the tree can stand firm in the face of the winds. A building needs to have a hidden foundation before its floors can appear. You look at what is hidden and think that nothing is happening, but I see what is being prepared. You look at a silent phase and call it a setback, but I see a deepening. Because before expansion, there is preparation. Before visible growth, there is invisible transformation. Before something reaches great heights, it needs to take deep roots. My son, you often ask me to speed up the process, but I'm taking care of something more important. I'm training you. I'm not just preparing a place for you to get to. I am preparing the person who will come to this place. Because a blessing received without maturity can become a burden. An opportunity received without preparation can become a difficult responsibility to carry. That's why I work first on the heart. I strengthen your conscience. I adjust your intentions. I withdraw thoughts that limit what I'm building within you. Look at Jesus. Before he began his ministry,
before the multitudes, there was a period of preparation in the wilderness. To human eyes, it could seem like a time of isolation, but I was strengthening his mission. Look at David. Before facing giants in front of everyone,
he faced battles away from the applause. In the countryside, when no one saw, I was building courage, faith, and dependence. My son, there are periods when no one notices what I'm doing, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. The secret place is also a place of growth. My word says in Psalm 139, 23, 24, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my thoughts.
And see if there is any evil way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." My son, allow me to work in depth. Allow me to touch places within you that need to be strengthened. You think you just need an external change, but I tell you, often the greatest transformation happens when I change the way you see, feel, and walk. I'm digging deeper into you. I'm putting down stronger roots. I'm forming a structure that will remain when the winds come. Don't despise the places where no one sees growth. It is in these places that I often prepare what everyone will see at the right time. My son, I know every prayer that has come out of your heart, including those you said when no one was around. I know words that were spoken in silence, requests that were born through tears, and conversations with me that you may have even forgotten over time. But I haven't forgotten. You think your prayer has been lost to time, but I tell you I have kept every word. You think that because the answer has not yet arrived, I have not heard, but I tell you, my ears have always been attentive to your cry. My son, you look at the interval between the request and the answer and call it silence. But I see this period in a different way. I see processes happening. I see hearts being prepared. I see paths being adjusted. You only see the waiting, but I see everything that is being built while you wait. Not a single tear shed before me was wasted. No sigh of a weary soul went unnoticed. No prayer offered with sincerity disappeared before my eyes. My word says in Psalm 34:15, "The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry." My son, I have always been attentive. Even when you thought you were talking to yourself, I was listening. Even when you thought the sky was closed, I was working. Even when you thought the answer took too long, I was taking care of details you still couldn't understand. Look at Daniel. He prayed and waited. There was an interval between his prayer and the answer, but that interval did not mean abandonment. I was still present. Look at Abraham. He received a promise, but he had to walk through a process of faith. Time has not canceled out what I had said. Look at Anna. She poured out her soul before me for years. His tears were seen, his heart was known. The time of waiting did not mean a lack of care. My son, I want you to understand a profound truth. You think you're just waiting for an answer, but I tell you many times I'm preparing you for what you've asked for, because there are requests that come before a prepared heart. There are doors that open before a person is ready to walk through them. Therefore, as you ask for a change around you, I often begin a transformation within you. I am strengthening your faith. I'm adjusting your intentions. I am healing areas that could prevent you from living what I am forming. You asked for a door, but I also prepared your steps. You asked for a blessing, but I also prepared your heart. You asked for an answer, but I am also forming a new vision within you. My son, I did not ignore your prayer. I was working in invisible places. I was preparing her soul to receive that which she was not yet ready to carry. You were reached because you were chosen. Write in the comments, God has chosen me, and live that truth every day. My son, I know there are times when you look at your life and feel like nothing is growing. You observe stories around you, see people moving forward and receiving answers, while your walk seems hidden, silent, and with no visible signs of change. But I want to teach your soul to see beyond the surface. You think your roots are weak, but I tell you, they are being strengthened in the dark. You think that because you don't see immediate fruits, nothing is happening, but I tell you, there is a deep work being formed within you. My son, a tree does not begin with the fruit. Before its branches reach the sky, its roots must find depth. Before its fruits are seen, there is a hidden process going on beneath the earth. The world looks at what appears, but I look at what sustains. You look at results, but I'm taking care of the structure. You look at achievements, but I'm strengthening your inside. You look at what everyone can see, but I'm working on what only I know. My son, do not despise the periods when it seems that nothing is happening. There are seasons when I hide your roots, not to hinder your growth, but to strengthen that which will allow you to remain when the winds come. The seed does not complain about the darkness, because it knows that there is life being formed within it. The root does not need to be seen to be growing. The heart does not need to receive applause to be transformed. So is your walk with me. My word says in Colossians 2:7, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, just as you were taught, growing in thanksgiving. My son, I am creating stability within you. I am forming a faith that does not depend only on the good days. I'm building a trust that remains even when circumstances change. You think you need constant signs to keep believing, but I tell you, deep roots don't depend on what the eyes see. They remain because they have found a deeper source. You think that the storm reveals your weakness, but I tell you, it often reveals the strength of the roots that have been built in the secret. A tree with shallow roots may look big, but it doesn't stand in the face of strong winds. That's why I work first on the invisible. I strengthen your soul before I enlarge your paths. I prepare your heart before placing new responsibilities on you. I establish your identity before allowing you to be recognized by others. My son, maybe you asked to grow up quickly, but I'm teaching you to stay. Because it's not just about getting to a place, it's about becoming someone who is able to stay in it. I'm already strengthening areas that you thought were fragile. I am already creating firmness where there was fear before. I am already deepening your faith as you go through this silent process. Maybe you've been waiting for an answer for a long time, and this message has been chosen by me to reveal something profound to you. Stay. My son, I know that many times you have looked at what you have lost and allowed that loss to tell a story about who you are. I know of the times when a closed door has made you question your worth. I know of the times when a rejection made you think it wasn't enough. But I want to free your mind from a distorted truth that pain has tried to put inside you. You think your identity is in what you've lost. But I tell you, your identity is in me. You think that what happened defined who you have become, but I tell you, what happened is part of your history, but you have no authority to define its essence. My son, you are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the negative words that have been said about you. You are not the doors that have closed. You are the one I know by name. Before anyone saw his limitations, I already knew his capacity. Before anyone put labels on you, I already knew the purpose I put into your life. Before anyone told you you couldn't do it, I had already placed seeds of strength inside you. My word says in 2 Corinthians 5:17, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new." My son, when I look at you, I don't just see what happened. I see what I'm forming. I see the person being restored. I see a soul that is learning again to see its own worth. You think you need to recover everything you lost, to be whole again, but I tell you, your true identity was never in the things you owned. It has never only been in the places where you have been. She was never in the approval of the people around her. Your identity was born in me. My son, many times the world tries to convince you that your value is in what you produce, what you achieve, or what you can keep. But I want to show something deeper. You are more than your results. You are more than your accomplishments. You are more than anyone's opinion. I know your heart. I know your hidden dreams. I know your silent struggles. I know even the parts of you that you're still learning to accept. And even though I know everything, I keep calling you my son. I'm not just fixing parts of your story. I am restoring your vision of who you are, because when your identity is strengthened in me, what you face no longer has the power to destroy your peace. Circumstances may change, people can leave, the scenarios can be transformed, but that which I have established within you remains. My son, turn your eyes to what I see when I look at you. I see value. I see purpose. I see a history that is still being built by my hands. This message has reached you, and it can reach other children of mine. By subscribing to this channel and liking this video, you help my word reach more hearts. My son, I know that there are storms that have come into your life bringing fear, doubts, and questions that seem to have no answers. I know what it was like to look at certain situations and feel that the winds were too strong, that the waves were bigger than your capacity, and that maybe you couldn't stay standing. But I want to show something that the storm revealed. You think the storm has come to destroy, but I tell you, It revealed the steadfastness I was forming within you. You think that moment showed your weakness, but I tell you, it revealed roots that grew when no one was looking. My son,
A tree that never faces wind may seem strong, but it is when the winds blow that its roots show their depth. So it is with your faith. There are parts of you that have only been strengthened because you have had to stand firm in the midst of hardship. You have not discovered your perseverance in easy days. You didn't discover your confidence in moments when everything was settled. You met a different force when you had to keep going, even though you didn't fully understand the path. My word
says in Matthew 7:25, and the rain came down, and rivers flowed, and winds blew and beat against that house, and it did not fall because it was built upon the rock. My son, realize that the house did not remain because it never faced storms. It remained because its foundation was built on something firm. I didn't promise a windless walk. I promised a presence that sustains you through them all. You think that some fights came to end your story, but I tell you, some fights came to reveal that your story was grounded in me. You think the pressure was breaking you, but I tell you, it was strengthening your inner structure. You think the waiting was weakening your faith, but I tell you, it was deepening your confidence. My son, gold passes through the fire, not because it has lost its value,
but because there is something precious being revealed. So it is with you. I do not allow processes to destroy what I have placed inside you. I work on the details. I strengthen places that were fragile. I sustain areas that you thought would not be able to stay. Maybe you've looked back and seen only the difficult moments, but I see something different. I see every time you continued. I see every prayer said in the midst of fatigue. I see every morning that you got up even carrying
worries. I see every moment that your soul has chosen to trust even though it doesn't have all the answers. My son, the storm has not defined who you are. It only revealed what was being built inside you. Because when my hands are strengthening their roots, no wind can tear away what has been established in me. And as you learn to stay, I keep working at a depth you can't see yet. My son, I know places on your journey that no one else knows. I know times when you chose to remain correct even when no one was watching. I know prayers made in silence, tears shed away from people's eyes, and decisions made when there was no acknowledgement waiting for you. But I saw it all. You think you have gone unnoticed, but I tell you, nothing that is done with a sincere heart is hidden before me. You think you need to be seen by men to be valuable, but I tell you, I see the secret. My son, the world often teaches you to seek recognition. It shows the importance of applause, opinions, and approval from people, but I want to teach your soul to find a deeper security. Because the applause passes, opinions change, people can recognize today and forget tomorrow, but what I build within you remains. My word says in Matthew 6:6, your Father who sees in secret will reward you. My son, I see what no one notices. I see when you choose to forgive, even though you have reasons to hold a grudge. I see when you keep walking, even without receiving encouragement. I see when you do good without expecting a return. I see when you fight thoughts that no one knows and yet choose to stay close to me. You think these small moments are unimportant, but I tell you, it is in these secret places that great things are formed. A root grows hidden before the tree is admired. A seed remains in the dark before its fruits appear. A work of art goes through a silent process before it is presented. So is your life. You want everyone to see the result, but I'm taking care of the process. You want people to recognize your change, but I'm strengthening your essence. You want others to understand your walk, but I'm teaching you to depend on my approval above any other. My son, don't build your identity on what people say. Don't allow compliments to make you feel greater. Don't let criticism make you feel smaller, because its true value was not born of human opinion. It was born out of my love for you. I know your faithfulness in the days when no one thanked you. I know your perseverance in the moments when no one noticed your struggle. I know the strength you had to find to keep going when it seemed like no one was by your side. And I want you to understand, what grows in the secret will have strength when the time comes to appear. Because what is built only to be seen by men can disappear when the eyes move away. But that which is formed in my presence remains even when no one is looking. My son, continue to allow me to work on you in the hidden places. Keep letting my hands strengthen your roots. Because before I reveal something through you, I first establish something within you. Few get to this point in the message, my son. But you arrived, and that's no accident. What follows was reserved for those who persevered. My son, I know the chapters of your story that you would like to hide.
I know memories that still make your heart ache. I know choices you wish you could go back in time to change, words you wish you hadn't said, and paths you wish you had followed in another way. But I want you to understand something profound about my grace. You think your past has written your future, but I tell you, my grace is still writing your story. You think that your mistakes define the end of your journey, but I tell you, I continue to work on the chapters that have not yet been revealed. My son, I don't look at you just for what happened. I look at what I'm forming. I don't get stuck in the moment you fell. I see the way I'm lifting you up. I don't just see the flaw, I see the transformation. Look at Peter. He walked with me, listened to my words, and even then had a moment of fear where he denied that he knew me. He could have allowed that mistake to become his identity. He might have believed that his story was over. But I did not abandon Pedro. I restored your life. I have shown that a fall has no power to cancel out a purpose. Look at Paul. He persecuted those who followed my path. But his story did not end in error. I reached out to his heart and transformed his direction. He who once destroyed began to build. The one who persecuted began to announce hope. Look at Moses. He also bore marks from the past. He also had moments of doubt and insecurity. But I kept calling his name and showing that my choices don't depend on human perfection. My son, you think you need to be perfect to get closer to me, but I tell you, it is my grace that transforms you as you walk with me. My word says in Romans 8:1, "There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus." I don't want you to be stuck with an old version of yourself. I don't want you to keep carrying a guilt that I'm already touching with my mercy. You think you have to pay eternally for your mistakes, but I tell you,
my grace is greater than what tried to bind your soul. My grace does not ignore your history. My grace enters into it and transforms its meaning. That which once brought shame can become a place where my restoration is revealed. What once seemed like a mark of defeat can become a reminder that I was there even when you didn't realize it. My son,
do not allow the past to speak louder than my voice. The past shows where you've been, but my grace reveals who you are becoming. I'm already writing new chapters. I am already forming a new vision within you. I'm already showing that your story didn't end on the hardest page, because when my hands touch a life, even the broken chapters can reveal a new story. My son, I know that many times you look at the horizon hoping that something will finally change. You expect a response that confirms that a new phase has begun. You wait for a door to open, an opportunity to arise, or a circumstance to transform in a visible way. But I want to reveal something that your soul needs to understand. You think you're waiting for a new season, but I tell you, I'm already giving birth to something new. You think you must first see the change to believe that it has begun. But I tell you, many things begin in the unseen before they appear before your eyes. My son, nature teaches this. Before a tree shows its fruit, there is a hidden process going on inside it. Before dawn lights up the sky, the night slowly begins to lose strength. Before a seed breaks through the earth, a life is already being formed in silence. So is my work in you. You look at what hasn't appeared yet, but I'm looking at what has already begun. You think that nothing has changed because the landscape around you remains the same, but I tell you, I am already transforming places within your soul. I'm renewing your way of thinking. I am strengthening your hope. I am awakening a new perception about your own history. My son, you asked for a new season, but before changing the scenario, I am preparing your heart to live this new time, Because a new season requires a new consciousness. You can't load a new level with the same view you had in the previous level. You cannot enter new paths carrying old fears. You cannot receive something new while remaining stuck in what I am already working to transform. You think that the greatest miracle will be what happens outside of you, but I tell you, often the greatest miracle is what happens inside you while no one notices. My word says in Isaiah 43:19, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it shall come forth. Do you not perceive it? Behold, I will set a way in the wilderness and rivers in the wilderness." My son, notice the question of my word. Do you not perceive it? Many times I'm already doing something new, but your attention is fixed on what you finished. You look at the door that has closed and do not realize the path I am opening. You look at the loss and you don't realize the seed I'm planting. You look at the past and don't notice the new life I'm forming. I'm already working in places your eyes can't reach. I am already preparing meetings, thoughts and opportunities that are part of a larger process. Don't disregard the small signs. Don't ignore the small changes within you. Sometimes the birth of a new season begins with a simple peace that you didn't have before. It starts with a strength you didn't know you possessed. It begins with a hope that is reborn after a long period of silence. My son, I'm not just preparing a change around you. I am giving birth to something new within you. If this message is confirming what you already felt in your heart, write in the comments, "I trust in God's action." My son, I know that many times you have evaluated my action only by what your eyes could reach. You looked at the events around you and tried to find visible evidence that I was present. You looked for quick changes, clear answers, and signs that confirmed your prayers were being heard. But I want to take you to a deeper understanding. You think nothing happened, but I tell you, I was moving the invisible in your favor. My son, there are battles that you have not seen, because I have prevented them from reaching you. There are paths that you did not take, because I knew what was hidden in them. There are doors that have remained closed, not because I ignored their wishes, but because I knew what their limited vision could not. You think you missed opportunities, but I tell you, sometimes I was protecting your purpose. You think I was stopped, but I tell you, I was lining up details that needed to happen at the right time. Because not every movement makes noise. Not every transformation appears immediately. Not every miracle is accompanied by great signs. My son, some of the greatest works I do happen in silence. A root growing underground does not attract anyone's attention, but it is what supports the tree when the winds come. So is my work in you. While you were crying, I strengthened your soul. While you waited, I worked in places you couldn't touch. While you didn't understand the way, I was leading you to steps that you couldn't see yet. My word says in Ephesians 3:20, "To him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly more than all that we ask or think, according to his power that works in us." My child, realize something important. My power acts in you. Before changing what is around me, I often start by transforming what is inside. I restored thoughts that were tired. I strengthened areas of his faith that were weakened. I have brought awareness to places where confusion once existed. You asked for an answer, but I was also preparing your perception to recognize the answer. You asked for a door, but I was also preparing your maturity to walk through it. You asked for a change, but I was forming a new version of you to live that change. My son, the invisible does not mean that it does not exist. The absence of signs does not mean the absence of my presence. Silence doesn't mean I've stopped acting. Often, silence is where the biggest movements begin. You didn't see conversations that I conducted. You have not seen deliverances which I have prepared. You didn't see details that were adjusted while you just tried to keep going. But I saw it. I was present. I was working. I was taking care of it. My son, do not limit my action to what your eyes can comprehend. I am the one who works before the demonstration. I am the one who prepares before the revelation. I am the one who builds in the secret before showing what has been formed. And while you think you're waiting for something to happen, I want your soul to understand. There's something being formed right now.
My son, I know that waiting is not always easy. I know the questions that were born within your heart during that time. I know the times when you looked at the clock, at the circumstances, and asked why what you wanted so much had not yet happened. I listened to every question. I have known every moment of doubt. But today, I want to change the way you see this period. You think the delay was a delay, but I tell you, it was protection and preparation. My son, you only saw time passing, but I saw everything that needed to be formed within you. You wanted to quickly receive what you asked for, but I knew the weight that that answer would carry. You wanted the door open, but I was strengthening your steps to get through it. You wanted to get to the destination, but I was preparing the person who would get to it. Look at David. Before the crown, there was the field. Before the recognition, there was anonymity. Before leading a nation, he had to learn to trust me while tending sheep away from people's eyes. That place that seemed small was a preparation room. Look at Moses. Before the mission, before a nation, there was the desert. That time that seemed like an interruption was where I was working on his identity, his patience, and his dependence. Look at Joseph. Before the government, there was the arrest. Before the honor, there were hidden places where he learned allegiance when no one was watching. My son, I never delay that which is in line with the purpose. I prepare what needs to remain, because what arrives without roots can be lost quickly, but what is built in depth remains even when circumstances change. My word says in Ecclesiastes 3:11, He has made all things beautiful in its time. He has also put the world in man's heart, without his being able to find out the work that God has done from the beginning to the end. My son, you wanted to understand only the chapter you were living, but I already knew the whole book. You saw a difficult page, I saw a complete story. You saw a closed door, I saw a direction. You saw lost time, I saw a necessary period. Because I don't just work with moments, I work with processes. I was removing haste that could harm you. I was healing wounds that still influenced his choices. I was strengthening roots that needed to withstand new winds. You think that delay has prevented your life from moving forward. But I tell you, often delay has been the very path that has prepared your advancement. My son, a tree does not grow strong because it receives only light. It also grows because it faces different seasons, because its roots learn to seek depth. So it happens to you. I am using this time to strengthen that which no one sees. I'm working your soul. I'm maturing your faith. I am forming within you a stability that does not depend only on circumstances. Do not despise the process I am conducting. The time that seemed to stand still was loaded with purpose. The period that seemed empty was full of my presence, and what I am forming in you is deeper than what you imagined receiving. My son, I know that there are times when you look at a new phase of your life and feel like you're going back to where you started. You look at what you needed to rebuild, the paths you needed to reorganize, and the changes you faced, and your heart begins to believe that all previous effort has been lost. But I want to reveal a truth that changes your perspective. You think you're starting over, but I tell you, you're starting with everything you learned. My son, you have not gone back to the beginning. You've come to a new place, carrying a story you didn't have before. You carry experiences that have matured your soul. You carry lessons that were born through difficult times. You carry a strength that was built when no one was watching. You think you've wasted time, but I tell you, each step has formed something inside you. Each tear taught something. Each battle revealed something. Each moment of waiting strengthened something. I don't erase your history. I transform your story. My son, a tree that faces strong winds does not remain the same after the storm. She develops resistance. Its roots learn to seek depth. Its structure becomes more prepared to remain. So, it is with you. You are no longer the same person you were before the challenges. You think you're back to the beginning because some things needed to be rebuilt, but I tell you, you're moving forward with a maturity that was born in the process. The pain didn't just take things from you. She also revealed things inside you. She showed a courage that was hidden. She showed a faith that grew when there were no guarantees. She showed a perseverance that you might not even know you had.
My son, do not look only at what still needs to be built. Look also at what I have already built within you. Because many times you ask me to change the situation, but I am already showing that the biggest change has started in your own soul. My word says in Philippians 3:13-14, forgetting the things that are behind and reaching forward to those things that are ahead, I press on toward the goal. My son, forgetting does not mean pretending that nothing happened. It means not allowing the past to continue holding back what I am doing in the present. You don't have to deny your experiences. You need to see the meaning they carry. The marks of the journey are not signs of defeat. They are reminders that you have crossed places that you once thought you could not bear. I use difficult times to teach your soul to stay. I use losses to show their true strength. I use changes to reveal a new way of walking. My son, do not be afraid of new beginnings. A new beginning in my hands is never empty. He carries everything that I have formed in you so far. You are not entering a new phase without preparation. You are coming in with the deeper insight, a stronger heart, and a more mature faith. In the next few minutes, my son, I will show you something that can be a direct sign from me for your life. Don't leave now, my son. I know that many times you have waited for a specific answer. You imagined how it would arrive, what the sign would be, what the door would open, and what would be the exact moment when everything would change. You created a picture of how I should respond, but I want to teach your soul to recognize something deeper. You think I didn't respond, but I tell you, I responded in ways you haven't yet recognized. My son, not every answer comes the way you expect. Sometimes you look for a big change around, but I'm already accomplishing a big transformation within you. Sometimes you wait for an open door, but I responded by closing what could hurt your walk. Sometimes you expect me to remove a difficulty, but I respond by strengthening you to get through it. You think that silence means absence, but I tell you, often, silence reveals a work that is happening in depth. I answered through deliverances that you never noticed. I responded through paths that were interrupted by care. I responded through people who arrived at the right time. I have responded through thoughts that have been renewed within you. I responded through that peace that appeared, even when the situation had not yet changed. My son, you have sought my answer in external events, but often my answer begins in the most important place, within your soul. Because before changing a circumstance, I often change the way you see that circumstance. Before I remove a battle, I strengthen your heart to stand firm. Before you hand over a new direction, I teach you to listen to my voice. My word says in John 10:27, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. My son, my voice doesn't always come like thunder. It doesn't always come through something great to human eyes. Often, my voice comes as a soft direction in the heart, like a peace you can't explain, like a conviction that is born within you, like a force that shows up when you thought you couldn't keep going. You think you need big signs to make sure I'm close, but I tell you, my presence is already being revealed in the small details. Notice what has changed within you. Notice the way you react today compared to the past. Note the doors that have not opened and the paths from which you have been protected. Notice the times when you found strength, even though you didn't know where it came from. My son, I was present in those moments. I was taking care of you when you didn't notice. I was guiding when you thought you were alone. I was responding while you thought you were just waiting. Don't limit my answer to the format your mind has envisioned. I am bigger than your plans. I work beyond what your eyes can reach. And when you learn to perceive my action in the invisible, you begin to understand that many things that seemed like silence were actually responses that were already happening. My son, I know there are battles that have come into your life and made you wonder why you had to face that. I know there were times when you looked at the difficulties and felt like everything was going against you. You looked at the fight and thought it had come only to hurt. You looked at the pressure and thought it had come only to tire your soul. But I want to reveal a mystery to your heart. You think the battle was against you, but I tell you, I was forming you. My son, what tried to generate fear in you was also used by me to generate maturity. That, which tried to weaken your faith, also revealed the depth of what I was building within you. The pressure
revealed his perseverance. The weight revealed his ability to stay. The difficulty revealed a dependence in me that perhaps had never been developed in easy times. You think the hard days were just taking
things away from you, but I tell you, they were also putting something inside you. They were forming a deeper vision. They were strengthening their conscience. They were teaching his soul to stand firm even when circumstances did not seem favorable. My word says in James 1:3-4, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have his perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. My son, I do not allow processes to destroy what I have put in you. I allow processes to reveal what needs to be strengthened. You think you needed an easier path, but I tell you, I was preparing a stronger structure. A tree that never faces wind does not develop the same resistance as a tree that has had to deepen its roots. So it is with your soul. There are forces within you that were awakened precisely in the moments when you needed to trust without having all the answers. You discovered a courage you didn't know you had. You found a faith that grew in the midst of uncertainty. You realized that you could keep going even when your own strength
seemed small. My son, some battles have not come to reveal your inability. They came to reveal that their capacity was being magnified by my hands. You think you were only fighting against a situation, but I tell you, I was working inside you during that situation. While you faced the outside, I strengthened the inside. While you were trying to survive the moment, I was building a new maturity in your soul. I was removing old fears. I was strengthening his identity. I was bringing his heart closer to my presence. My son, don't just look at what the battle has tried to take away. Look also at what she revealed, because after a few processes you realize that it didn't come out the same as the way you entered. You came out more conscious. You came out firmer. You came closer to me. And as you think about everything you faced, I want to show you that there's still a part of this process that your eyes haven't fully understood. My son, I know that there are doors before you that seem to remain closed for far too long. I know that you look at what has not yet happened and begin to imagine that you are stopped, that you have missed opportunities, or that perhaps the path has been interrupted. But I want to reveal something deeper to your heart. You think the door hasn't opened yet, but I tell you, I've already prepared the way. My son, before your eyes see an opening, my hands are already working on the details you don't know yet. You see a closed door. I see a preparation going on behind her. You see a silence. I see movements that are being aligned. You see a delay. I see a necessary process because I don't just prepare the door. I prepare everything that surrounds the door. I adjust circumstances. I conduct meetings. I prepare people. I organize paths. I strengthen you to enter places that will require a new version of your faith. My son, you often ask for a change, but you don't realize that true change involves much more than what your eyes can grasp. You think the answer is just the door opening, but I tell you, the answer is also in the preparation that happens before it, because a door opened at the wrong time can bring a weight that you are not yet ready to carry. But a door opened by my hands finds a prepared heart. My word says in Isaiah 45:2, I will go before you, and I will make straight the crooked ways. I will break the doors of brass and break the bolts of iron. My son, realize the promise. I will go before you. You're not walking toward a place I've never been. You are not entering a future unknown to me. I am already present in the places where you will still arrive. The tomorrow that causes worry in your mind is already before my eyes. The paths that seem uncertain to you are already known to me. You think you need to figure it all out before you can continue. But I tell you, confidence is born when you understand that I already know what you're still trying to understand. My son, do not allow a closed door to make you believe that your story has stopped. Some doors remain closed because I am protecting you from paths that do not match what I am forming. Some waits exist because there are details that need to be prepared. You think you're waiting for an opportunity, but I tell you, I'm preparing you for an opportunity. You think you're waiting for an answer, but I tell you, I'm working in a reality that your eyes can't yet perceive. Just as a seed grows before it breaks through the earth, many of my plans unfold before they are revealed. My son, keep trusting. Don't just look at the door that hasn't opened yet. Look at my hands that keep working. I have not forgotten your way. I have not abandoned your story. I didn't stop acting. At the end of this message, you will feel my presence in a way that you may never have felt before. Stay with me until the end. My son, I know how tired you got trying to prove that it was enough. I know the times when you tried to show your ability, gain recognition, and seek in people's eyes for confirmation that you had value. I know this weight that you carried. The weight of trying to please everyone, the weight of comparing your walk with the walk of others, the weight of feeling that I needed to do more, achieve more, and demonstrate more to be accepted. But today I want to free your soul from that burden. You think you need to prove yourself, but I tell you, you're already known to me. My son, before anyone recognized his abilities. I already knew his essence. Before anyone saw his achievements, I already knew his heart. Before anyone said your name, I already knew who you were. You were not born from people's opinions. You were not created to live seeking constant approval. You were formed by my hands. My word says in Psalm 139:14, I praise you because you have made me special and wonderful. Your works are wonderful. My son, I didn't make a mistake in raising you. I didn't look at his life and saw a lack. I have placed within you seeds that carry purpose. You think you need to earn love, but I tell you, you need to understand the love you've already received. You think you need to do something extraordinary to be important, but I tell you, your importance was not born from what you do. It was born from who you are in me. I don't just love you on the days you get it right. I don't just approach when you can win. I don't just stay when you show strength. I know your limitations. I know your insecurities. I know your internal battles. And even though I know all this, I continue to call you my son. My son, the world can measure value through results, numbers, and achievements, but I see something deeper. I see your heart's intent. I see the times when you continued even though you were tired. I see the moments when you chose to do the right thing even when no one was watching. I see every little victory that no one applauded. You think these moments are unimportant, but I tell you, it is in these secret places that I strengthen your identity. Because when you understand who you are in me, you stop trying to convince people of your worth. You don't have to chase after an identity you've already been given. You don't have to beg for a place I've already prepared for you. You don't have to live trapped in the fear of not being enough. My son, comparison tries to steal your peace because it makes you look at someone else's story and forget yours. But I want to remind you, I don't write stories the same. Each seed has its own growth time. Each tree has its own process. Each life carries a unique expression of what I have put into it. I already know your name. I already know your journey. I already know the purpose I am forming in you. If this video came at the right time for you, write in the comments, I believe, Lord, and declare that you are ready for this new phase. My son, I know that there are times when the night seems too long. I know there are days when your heart wonders if the light will really come. I know that fatigue tried to convince you that maybe it was better to stop, give up, and accept that nothing else would change. But I want to talk to you right now. Do not ignore this voice. Do not ignore what I am awakening within your soul. You think you're at the end, but I tell you, you're facing a new dawn. My son, what seems like the last chapter in your eyes may just be the transition to a new page that I am already preparing. You look at the darkness and think it has won, but I tell you, the night has never had the authority to stop the coming of day. You look at the silence and think I've walked away, but I tell you, I was working while you were learning to trust. I was strengthening his hope when all seemed lost. I was sustaining his faith when his own strength seemed to fade. I was taking care of details you didn't even know existed. My son, my word says in Psalm 35, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Notice something important. The promise does not say that the night would never come. She says that the night would not be permanent. There is a limit to darkness. There is a determined moment for dawn, and I know that moment. You think the wait has been too long, but I tell you, some deep waits prepare deep blessings. You think you wasted time, but I tell you, I was using each day to form something that will remain. Because what is born only from haste may not have roots. But what is prepared by my hands carries a different depth. My son, before the sun fully appears, there is a small light appearing on the horizon. First no one notices. Then the sky begins to change color. Then what seemed impossible begins to reveal a new reality. So it is with what I am doing to you. Maybe you don't see everything yet. Perhaps there are still unanswered questions. Perhaps there are still areas waiting for restoration, but don't confuse the beginning of light with the absence of day. I'm already moving what you asked for. I'm already preparing what you've been waiting for. I'm already playing places that seemed forgotten. My son, if you are about to give up, listen to my voice. Stay a little longer. Do not abandon the moment dawn begins to approach. Don't give up your hope just when I'm strengthening your roots to sustain what's coming. You think you've reached the limit, but I tell you, often, the human limit is the place where my strength begins to be revealed. I know the weight you carried. I know the tears that fell silent. I know the time that seemed endless. But I also know the purpose, hidden after that season. The dawn is approaching, and I am preparing you to see that which once seemed impossible. My son, I know that one of the greatest struggles that happens inside your soul is trying to understand everything before resting. I know your mind is looking for answers, clear paths,
And full explanations for every detail of your journey. You want to see all the pieces before you believe the picture is being formed. You want to know each step before you take the next one. But I want to reveal something deeper to your heart. You think you need to understand everything to trust, but I tell you, trust, because I'm already acting. My son, your lack of understanding has never limited my power. The fact that you don't see the whole way has never meant that I don't know every part of it. My word says in Hebrews 11:1, "Now faith is the assurance of what we hope for, the evidence of things we do not see." Faith is not born when all the details are revealed. Faith is born when you rest knowing that my hands keep working even when your eyes can't keep up. I don't need to show you all the steps to prove my fidelity. I don't need to reveal all the answers to prove that I am present. A craftsman knows the work before it is finished. He looks at something that still seems incomplete and already sees what will be formed. So, am I with you? I know your story before you see the next chapter. I know the purpose before you understand the process. I know who you are becoming before you can see this transformation. My son, now I want you to remember something that pain tried to make you forget. You are not the end product of your mistakes. You are not defined by the falls you have faced. You are not what they said about you. You are not the sum of the moments when you failed. You belong to me. I don't call you by the name of your defeats. I don't look at you through your wounds. I do not reduce your identity to the difficult chapters of your story. I know you by name. Before the world pointed out its limitations, I already knew its essence. Before anyone determined your boundaries, I had already placed purpose within you. My son, you think you need to become perfect to be loved by me, but I tell you, my love has already reached you even before your transformation. I don't walk with you because you managed to win everything. I walk with you because you are mine. I'm restoring the way you see yourself. I am removing the labels that life has placed upon your soul. I'm healing the distorted view that made you believe you were too small, too broken, or too distant. You think your story has lost value because of the hard ways, but I tell you, I still write through you. The clay does not define the vessel until the potter's hands have finished the work. The seed does not define the tree before it grows. And you shouldn't define yourself by the moment you're in either. I'm still forming, I'm still restoring, I'm still revealing
who you've always been in my eyes. My son, I want to thank you for staying with me until this moment. I know that it was often difficult to continue, that your mind had doubts, and that your heart faced fatigue along this journey. But you stayed to the end, and I want you to know that your perseverance did not go unnoticed before me. There is a spiritual blessing in store for those who persevere and stand firm, even when the road seems long. You have come this far because there is something that your soul needed to hear. Every word received was a seed planted in your heart, and I continue to work in places your eyes can't yet see. My son, remember that I know your tears, your struggles, and your silent prayers. I saw every moment you thought about giving up and continued to sustain your walk. The fact that you are here, now, reveals that my grace has been leading you through every step. If this message spoke to your heart, write in the comments, "I watched until the end," and also put the city where you are watching. May this statement be a demonstration of your faith and your resolve to continue to hear my voice. My son, I want you to know that your journey does not end at this message. I'm leading you to new levels of faith, trust, and intimacy with me. From today on, don't carry alone what I'm already taking care of. Deliver your worries, your fears, and your plans into my hands. I want you to walk remembering that my presence accompanies your steps. When challenges arise, remember that I remain your refuge and your strength. Now enjoy this video as a gesture of gratitude for this word received. Share this message with someone who needs to feel my presence, and subscribe to this channel to continue receiving messages of faith and hope. Every person reached can receive a seed of transformation through this word. Allow God to continue speaking to your heart. Take the next step in this journey by watching the next video that will appear here on the screen. In it, we will continue to learn how to live in God's presence and experience the fullness of His plans. Don't stop here, because God still has much more to speak to you. Always remember, God is greater, and His presence is our strength. Trust Him, and He will do infinitely more than you can imagine. May God bless your life, and see you in the next video.